it takes approximately 17 seconds of sustained focus to shift from beta into alpha-theta states. This isn't a coincidence. It's neuroscience confirming ancient wisdom. Neuroscientists have discovered something called the default mode network, a network of brain regions that becomes active when you're not focused on the outside world and your mind is wandering inward. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. What I'm about to share with you will sound absolutely impossible until you try it yourself. 17 seconds. That's really all it takes to completely shift your reality. Not 17 minutes, not 17 hours, not 17 days, 17 seconds. This ancient technique was hidden for over 2,000 years, practiced in secret by mystery schools, and passed down only through direct transmission. Modern quantum physics has now proven why it works, but the ancients knew something we're only beginning to understand. Reality is far more malleable than we've been taught. I've personally used this technique to shift out of near-death situations, transform my financial reality from bankruptcy to abundance, and even change the very trajectory of my life path. And today, I'm going to give you the exact method step by step. But here's what I need you to understand before we begin. This is not some theory. This is not wishful thinking. This is a precise technology of consciousness that, when applied correctly, creates immediate and measurable changes in your external reality. Now, I'm going to be teaching this and other techniques live and in person at our major event this November in Los Angeles, November 21st through the 23rd. And you can find more information at www.brianscottlive.com/event-November. And I'll share more about this towards the end, but right now, let's dive into this 17-second reality hack that's about to change everything you thought you knew about how reality works. Let me tell you how I discovered this technique, because the story itself will show you just how powerful this really is. It was during the darkest period of my life. I'd lost everything. My business had failed. I was facing bankruptcy. My relationship was falling apart, and I felt completely hopeless. But the universe was not done with me yet. One night during a home invasion, I found myself staring down the barrel of a gun. The trigger was pulled, and as I ran, the bullet should have just killed me instantly. I should be dead right now. Instead, it bounced off my back. I should have died that night. But something shifted in that moment, something I could not explain with conventional thinking. That experience sent me on a fanatical quest to understand what had really happened. How does reality actually work? How can consciousness affect physical matter? How can someone literally shift from one timeline to another? So I studied everything: quantum physics, ancient mystery traditions, neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, meditation practices from around the world. I became a certified NLP practitioner, master hypnotist, and dove deep into the research of pioneers like Vadim Zeland and his reality transurfing techniques. But it was when I encountered Abraham Hicks' teachings that I found the key. She taught about the power of holding a focused thought for 17 seconds. That 17 seconds of pure focus on a thought without contradicting it creates a powerful momentum in the quantum field. Now, she doesn't use the word quantum field, but that's how I started to understand it. When I understood the dynamics of the physics of reality shifting and then what she had taught, this was describing the actual mechanics of reality creation. It made sense to me. What I discovered next was how to combine this 17-second principle with quantum jumping techniques to create something incredibly powerful, a method so immediate in its effects that it almost seemed too good to be true. But the more I used it, the more I coached it, the more impossible coincidences began happening in mine and others' lives. Opportunities appeared out of nowhere. People would contact me with exactly what I needed: money would show up from unexpected sources, out of thin air seemingly. It was as if reality itself was reorganizing to match my intentions. That technique is what I call the 17-second reality hack. Why haven't I mentioned it before after 3,000 videos? Because it seemed too simple for me to offer it as a technique or a teaching. Before I give you this technique, you need to understand the science behind why this works. Because without this foundation, you might dismiss what I'm about to share as mere sort of visualization or positive thinking, that I'm trying to use a clickbait title, and it's not. This is based on the deepest discoveries of quantum physics. In 1909, physicist Thomas Young conducted what became known as the double-slit experiment. What they discovered turned our understanding of reality upside down. Subatomic particles behave differently when they're being observed versus when they're not being observed. Think about what this means. Consciousness, the act of observation, literally changes the physical reality at quantum levels. But it gets even more mind-bending. Until the moment of observation, particles exist in what is called superposition. They exist in all possible states simultaneously. It's only when consciousness observes them that they collapse into a single reality. Dr. Hugh Everett III took this even further with his many worlds interpretation. According to quantum mechanics, every possible reality exists simultaneously in what he called parallel universes. The reality you experience is determined by where your consciousness is focused. This is not science fiction. This is accepted quantum physics, more than 100 years old. The implications are staggering. In 2022, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to scientists who proved that reality is non-local, meaning that what happens in one place can instantly affect what happens somewhere else, regardless of distance. They call this spooky action at a distance. What they don't tell you in these textbooks is if reality is non-local, then your consciousness can affect reality anywhere at any time. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, said, "There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind." What he's describing is what we now call the quantum field, the invisible field of pure potentiality that underlies all physical reality. Here's the key insight that the ancients understood, but modern science is just beginning to grasp. Your consciousness is not separate from this field. Your consciousness is the field expressing itself as individual awareness. This means you're not trying to manipulate reality from the outside. You are reality, choosing which of the infinite possibilities to collapse into your experience. The 17-second reality hack works because it uses your consciousness to instantly select a different probability wave from the quantum field and collapse it into your timeline, combined with the powerful 17-second momentum principle that Abraham Hicks revealed, makes lasting change in the quantum field. Now, while quantum physics has given us the scientific framework, this knowledge is not new. Mystery schools throughout history have taught versions of this technique. The ancient Hermetic text, the Kabbalion, states, "All is mind, the all is mental." This wasn't poetry. It was precise description of how reality actually works. The Hermeticists understood that what we call physical reality is actually mental reality, thoughts and emotions crystallized into form. They developed specific techniques to work with this mental substance directly. In the temples of ancient Egypt, initiates were taught what they called the art of Heka, divine magic. But Heka wasn't about casting spells on external objects. It was about recognizing that the consciousness of the initiate and the consciousness of the universe were one and the same. The technique I'm sharing with you today is just a modern adaptation of Heka. In ancient India, the Vedantic seers taught that Brahman, universal consciousness, and Atman, individual consciousness, are identical. The famous phrase, Tat Tvam Asi, means thou art that. They developed meditation techniques designed to help practitioners experience this unity consciousness directly. Once you realize you're not separate from universal mind, changing reality becomes as simple as changing your mind. In the Kabbalistic tradition, there's a concept called Yesh Me Ayin, something from nothing. It describes how the infinite formless consciousness of the Ayin Sof creates all realities through focused intention. The tree of life is actually a map of how consciousness moves from pure potential into manifest form. Each sephira represents a different density of consciousness, a different level of reality crystallization. Kabbalists understood that by shifting consciousness between different sephiroth, you could access different timelines and realities. The technique they used involved what they called kavana, focused intention held for a specific duration to create change across dimensional boundaries. Tibetan Buddhist monks have practiced what they call bardo training for over 1,000 years. The bardo is the space between thoughts, between realities, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Sound familiar? They develop techniques to consciously navigate between different bardos, different reality states. These techniques involve precise timing of consciousness shifts, often in intervals that match what we now know about optimal brainwave states. Advanced practitioners would enter what they called clear light consciousness, where they could perceive all possible timelines simultaneously and choose which one to experience. Australian Aboriginal peoples have understood for over 60,000 years that physical reality is just one layer of existence. They call the realm of pure possibility dream time, the space where all stories, all realities, all possibilities exist simultaneously. Their shamans develop techniques to walk between worlds, shifting consciousness to access different timeline potentials, often very quickly. They understood that by changing their inner reality, they could influence the outer world almost instantaneously. What's remarkable is that their traditional practices involve timed breathing and focused techniques that create the same brainwave states modern neuroscience shows are optimal for reality shifting. When I studied all these traditions, I found common threads. Reality is a fundamental mental consciousness level. Multiple timelines and realities exist simultaneously. Consciousness can shift between these realities. Specific timing and focus techniques are required. The optimal duration for reality shifting focus is consistently around 17 seconds. It may be getting faster. We're moving from 17 to 16. I think every year this gap is going to get smaller, but 17 is sort of the magical sweet spot right now. What all these traditions understood is that consciousness is the fundamental building block of reality. Change your consciousness instantly, and you change your reality instantly. The 17-second reality hack is a distillation of these ancient methods combined with modern understanding of quantum mechanics, neuroscience, and Abraham Hicks' insights about the power of sustained focused thought. But there's one more crucial piece I need to share with you before we get to the technique itself. The neuroscience of reality shifting, and that is what is actually happening in your brain when you successfully shift realities. Because neuroscience behind this is absolutely fascinating and will help you maximize your results. Your brain operates at different frequencies throughout the day, and each frequency gives you access to different capabilities. Most people spend their waking hours in beta brainwave states, 13 to 30 hertz, which is great for logical thinking and everyday activities, but terrible for reality shifting. When you successfully shift realities, you need to access what neuroscientists call the alpha-theta bridge, the zone between 7 and 13 hertz. This is the same brainwave state you're in during deep meditation, just before falling asleep, or during the moments of profound inspiration. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research has shown that when people have spontaneous healing experiences or reality shifts, their brains are consistently in alpha theta states. This is when your conscious mind relaxes its grip and your subconscious becomes highly programmable. But here's what's really fascinating. It takes approximately 17 seconds of sustained focus to shift from beta into alpha theta states. This isn't a coincidence. It's neuroscience confirming ancient wisdom. Neuroscientists have discovered something called the default mode network, a network of brain regions that becomes active when you're not focused on the outside world and your mind is wandering inward. This network includes medial prefrontal cortex, the posterior cingulate cortex, and the angular gyrus. When this network is active, you have access to what researchers call divergent thinking, the ability to perceive multiple possibilities simultaneously. Advanced meditators and people who regularly experience reality shift show increased activity in the default mode network and stronger connections between its different regions. They have brains that are wired for accessing multiple realities. There's a part of your brain stem called the reticular activating system, or RAS, that acts like a filter for reality. Your RAS determines what information gets through to your conscious awareness and what's getting filtered out. Here's the key. Your RAS is programmed by your beliefs, expectations, and repeated thoughts. When you use the 17-second reality hack consistently, you're reprogramming your RAS to filter for evidence of a new reality. This is why people often experience synchronicities and opportunities appearing out of nowhere after using reality shifting techniques. It's not that these opportunities were there before, it's that your RAS is now allowing you to perceive them. Your brain is consistently rewiring itself based on your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. This is called neuroplasticity. Every time you think a thought, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with that thought. But here's what most people don't understand. Your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you use the 17-second reality hack, you're creating new neural pathways that correspond to your desired reality. Dr. Alvaro Pascual Leon at Harvard Medical School has shown that people who mentally practice piano for 2 hours a day develop the same brain changes as people who physically practice piano for the same amount of time. Mental rehearsal completely rewires your brain as if the imagined experience were real. The HeartMath Institute has discovered that your heart has its own neural network, about 40,000 neurons that send more information to the brain than they receive. When you achieve what they call heart coherence, your heart rhythm becomes smooth and ordered. This coherent heart rhythm synchronizes your entire nervous system and creates an optimal state for reality shifting. It's why the 17-second reality hack includes a focus on gratitude and positive emotion. These emotions create heart coherence, which amplifies the effectiveness of the technique. Some cutting-edge neuroscientists, like Dr. Stuart Hameroff, believe that consciousness operates at the quantum level within brain cells. According to their orchestrated objective reduction theory, microtubules and neurons can exist in quantum superposition states. If this theory is correct, then your brain is literally a quantum computer that can access information from multiple timelines simultaneously, which is what a quantum computer does. The 17-second reality hack may be a way of consciously directing your brain's quantum processing capabilities. Based on all this, 17 seconds appears to be the minimum time needed to shift from beta to alpha theta, to create heart coherence, begin rewiring neural pathways, and access the quantum field. This is why Abraham Hicks' teaching about 17 seconds creates momentum in the quantum field so accurately. It's based on the optimal timing of human consciousness and neuroscience. Before I give you the actual technique, I want to share some real-world evidence and case studies that demonstrate just how powerful this can be. These aren't hypothetical examples. These are actual documented results from people who have used this technique. The first case study was a parking space experiment. I taught this technique to a group of about 20 people and asked them to use it for finding parking spaces in busy areas. The results were statistically impossible to explain. Everybody reported back to me that they were able to find parking spaces consistently on a regular basis. I would love to find a way to statistically measure this, and I plan on doing that at some point. One software engineer I was working with was facing bankruptcy, and his business had failed, and he owed $75,000 in debt. He started using the 17-second reality hack 3 times daily, focusing specifically on financial abundance. Within 2 weeks, he received a call from a company he'd applied to 6 months earlier. They offered him a position with a $40,000 signing bonus. 1 month later, he discovered he was entitled to a tax refund he didn't know about for about $8,000. And 2 months after that, a relative he barely knew left him $30,000 in their will. I found this so fascinating because I had read case studies like this in some of those old books that I've shared on the channel, and it sounded a lot like that. And Mark paid off his debts and started a new business using just this 17-second technique. I had a friend that was diagnosed with chronic autoimmune condition that doctors said was incurable. He was on multiple medications and facing progressive decline the rest of his life. He started using this 17-second technique. The reason I gave it to him is because he was still very busy. And he used it to shift it into a timeline where he was healthy and vibrant. But instead of focusing on curing his disease, he focused on experiencing himself as already healthy. Within a month, he discovered a new treatment protocol that his doctors hadn't mentioned. But within 3 months, his blood markers had improved dramatically, and within 6 months, he was off medications and symptom-free. Doctors couldn't explain it medically. After documenting hundreds of these cases, I've identified consistent patterns. First of all, there's an emotional shift. Successful reality shifts are always accompanied by a distinct emotional change, usually a sudden feeling of relief, knowing, or joy. Secondly, there's a synchronicity window. Most external changes manifest within a 24 to 72 hours of the emotional shift, though sometimes the timeline can be shorter. There's always a path of least resistance. The universe seems to arrange circumstances in the most natural, effortless way possible. Opportunities appear that were always there but previously unseen. Then there's the retroactive effect. Many people report feeling like their desired reality had always been true, as if they'd simply remembered something they had temporarily forgot. And then there's the compound effect. The more people use this technique successfully, the faster and more dramatic their results become, as if they're building quantum momentum. Now, I know some of you might be thinking this sounds too good to be true. Where's the scientific validation? Here's the thing, we're dealing with consciousness research, which is notoriously difficult to study using traditional scientific methods. But there have been some fascinating studies. Dr. William Tiller at Stanford University has conducted experiments showing that human intention can significantly alter the pH of water and the speed of chemical reaction. His results suggest that focused intention can change the physical properties of matter. Dr. Larry Dossey has documented hundreds of cases of what he calls non-local healing, instances where focused intention has created measurable health improvements in people at a distance. Recent discoveries in quantum biology are also relevant here. Scientists have found that quantum effects play crucial roles in photosynthesis, bird navigation, and even the sense of smell. Dr. Stuart Hameroff's research suggests that consciousness itself operates through quantum processes in brain microtubules. If consciousness is indeed a quantum phenomenon, then techniques like the 17-second reality hack aren't just psychological tools. They are methods for directly interfacing with the quantum field that underlies physical reality. All right, now for what you've been waiting for, the actual technique. But first, a warning, this technique is incredibly powerful. I want you to use it responsibly. What you're about to learn can create massive changes in your life very quickly. Make sure you're prepared for what you're asking for. I've seen people's lives change and transform within weeks of learning this technique. Relationships, finances, health, career, everything can shift when you master this. So please use this wisdom ethically for the highest good. The first step is the quantum pause. Close your eyes and take one deep breath. In this moment, you're going to step out of linear time and enter the eternal now, the space between thoughts where all possibilities exist. Sometimes it takes longer, but you can do it within 1 to 3 seconds. You're not just relaxing, you're shifting your brain waves from beta to alpha. Sometimes I find rolling your eyes up at a 45-degree angle speeds this process up within a 1 to 3 second period. And as you take this breath, imagine yourself stepping out of the movie of your current life and into the projection booth where all possible movies exist simultaneously. You're becoming the observer of your reality rather than just a character within it. Then seconds 4 through 6, for 3 seconds, completely let go of who you think you are. 3 seconds is a long time when you do this. You release your name, your story, your history, your problems, your limitations, become pure awareness, the observer behind all experience. This is crucial because your current identity is what keeps you locked into your current reality. Your identity is like a radio frequency. It determines which reality station you're tuned into. To shift realities, you must first become bigger than your current self-concept. Imagine your identity dissolving like sugar in water, leaving only pure unlimited consciousness. The third step, seconds 7 through 14, from this space of pure potential, clearly see, feel, and experience yourself already living the reality you desire. This is the heart of the technique. 8 full seconds or more of uninterrupted focus on your desired reality. Just as Abraham Hicks taught about the power of 17 seconds of pure thought. Now, some people would say Abraham Hicks is saying you must do the imagining for 17 seconds, and there may be some truth to that. I think that you must initiate a process within this time of just letting go and entering into that state. This is not like a visualization in the way people think of it. You're not imagining a future scenario. You're selecting a parallel timeline where this reality already exists and aligning your consciousness with it. Feel the emotions as if you're already there. See through the eyes of this other version of yourself. Hear the sounds, experience the sensations. Feel the gratitude of already having what you desire. The key is presence. You're not hoping this will happen. You're experiencing it as already real in this moment. You're not trying to create anything new. You're simply tuning into a frequency that already exists. During these 8 seconds, if your mind starts to wander or doubt creeps in, gently return the feeling of already having what you want. The feeling is more important than the visual details. Then there's quantum collapse. That's seconds 15 through 16. With complete certainty and gratitude, mentally declare it is done. You're not asking or hoping or trying to manifest. You're acknowledging that you already selected this timeline and it's now in the process of becoming a physical reality. This is the moment of quantum collapse, where infinite possibilities collapse into a single selected outcome. Feel the relief of gratitude knowing that this reality shift has already happened at the quantum level, and it's just a matter of time before it appears in your physical experience. In the 17th and final second, take one final breath and slowly open your eyes, carrying the knowing that you've just shifted into a parallel reality. Don't analyze or doubt what just happened. Just simply remain open and aware as your new reality begins to unfold. As you open your eyes, maintain the feeling that something fundamental has shifted. You're not the same person who closed their eyes 17 seconds ago. You're now the version of yourself who lives in the reality you selected. Now, it doesn't sell YouTube videos for me to do a 17-second meditation with you, but I promise you that's all it takes. You're 17 seconds away from whatever you want. Now, let me be clear. You can absolutely take longer with this technique. I'm giving you this from a perspective that this is about the quickest you can do this. A lot of times you can do it in 30 seconds or a couple of minutes. You have the steps now. Once again, it's just 4 simple steps. The first step is the quantum pause, closing your eyes, letting go, going into the moment, becoming mindful. The second step is dissolving your identity, who you are, entering into a no thing, no body, into a void. The third step is selecting your reality by imagining from it as vividly as possible. Then the quantum collapse, where you mentally declare it is done. You're not asking or hoping, you are declaring it is done. And then the 5th step is integration. You take that final breath and slowly open your eyes, carrying the knowing that you've just shifted into your parallel reality. And that's it. When you're first learning this, you might spend a minute or even several minutes on each step. But once you master it, you can literally shift realities in as little as 17 seconds. The minimum effective dose for reality shifting is 17 seconds. Abraham revealed that 17 seconds of pure focused thought creates this powerful momentum. Think of it like learning to drive. At first, you consciously think about every action, check the mirrors, signal, look both ways, but eventually you can execute a lane change quickly without conscious thought. The 17-second reality hack works the same way. This is the beginning of teaching instantaneous manifestation. We're 17 seconds away from it. Once you've mastered this basic technique, there are some advanced variations. You can try emotional amplifiers. Instead of just feeling gratitude at the end, spend the entire 17 seconds in a state of overwhelming joy and excitement about already having your desire. 17 seconds of pure joy. Watch what happens. Or use sensory immersion. Engage all 5 senses during the quantum selection phase. What do you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste in your new reality? Use the technique to shift your perception of past events. Focus on a timeline where a past situation unfolded differently, feeling grateful that it happened the way you wanted it to. Or use the technique to shift into timelines that benefit not just you, but everyone around you. Focus on realities where everyone wins. This works quickly because you're not trying to change reality, you're changing which reality you're experiencing. All possible realities already exist in the quantum field. You're simply moving your point of consciousness from one to another. It's like changing the channel on a TV. You're not creating a new program, you're tuning into a different frequency. Now let me address the most common obstacles people face with this technique. The first is, I can't visualize clearly. It's probably the most common concern I hear. People think they need to create perfect mental movies in their minds. You don't need to see anything clearly. The quantum field responds to feeling and intention, not visual clarity. Some people are visual, others kinesthetic, and others are auditory. Use whatever sensory modality feels most natural to you. Another obstacle is, I don't believe it will work. This is a tricky one because belief seems so important. But the truth is, belief isn't required for the initial shift. But it is required to maintain the new timeline. Start small. Use the technique for minor things first, finding a parking space, receiving a text from someone, small amounts of money appearing. I always tell people to start with believable impossibilities, things that would be wonderful if they happened but don't seem totally impossible. The third obstacle is nothing happened immediately. This usually happens because people are looking for dramatic external changes and missing the subtle signs that reality is shifting. Changes often begin in ways you don't immediately recognize. Stay alert for synchronicities, unusual opportunities, people reaching out to you, shifts in your mood or energy levels, or sudden insights and ideas. Keep a reality shift journal and write down anything unusual that happens in the 72 hours after using this technique. Another common obstacle is, I slip back into my old reality. This is completely normal and expected. You're dealing with timeline elasticity. Your consciousness naturally wants to return to familiar patterns. This is why consistency is so important. Use this technique multiple times throughout the day, especially when you notice yourself slipping back into old thought patterns or emotional states. Another obstacle, people say, I keep getting distracted. This is common. 17 seconds is a long time. Start by practicing this in a quiet environment without distractions. Turn off your phone, find a comfortable position, and give yourself permission to focus completely for just 17 seconds. Now, I want to give you 17 seconds right now. You'll start to realize how long 17 seconds are. You'll also notice I'm always giving 17-second pauses in my meditations, and this is the reason. So let's try it. Starting now. "17 seconds, just like that. I'll do this again to count it down so you can realize it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 seconds. That's all it takes. I know some of you are thinking, this sounds incredible, but I wish I could learn this in person, practice it with other people, really master it at a deep level. Well, I have some amazing news. This November 21st to the 23rd, I'm hosting a major live event in Los Angeles. There are still tickets available with my incredible collaborators Kyle Boyd and Leah Rush from the Heart Coherence Collaborative. Something we've been planning for months. It's going to be absolutely transformational. This won't be just another conference where you sit and listen. It's a completely immersive 3-day experience where you'll learn advanced versions of techniques like this 17-second reality hack and so much more. Practice them with hundreds of like-minded reality revolutionaries and experience group quantum field effects that are impossible to achieve alone. We'll be doing a live timeline shifting exercise, massive group reality creation experiments, and I'll be teaching techniques that I've never shared publicly before. Plus, you'll be surrounded by hundreds of other people who are serious about transforming their lives using these quantum consciousness methods. Kyle and Leah bring their expertise in heart coherence and collective field activation, which creates an incredible, powerful synergy when combined with reality-shifting techniques. When you get this many consciousness explorers together in one space, the field effects are absolutely extraordinary. Here's what happens when you practice these techniques in a group setting. The quantum field becomes amplified exponentially. Individual consciousness is powerful, but collective consciousness operating in harmony is reality changing on a massive scale. The energy in Los Angeles during this event is going to be off the charts. And we're expecting people to fly from all over the world for this gathering. And I've been getting messages from people in Australia, the UK, Canada, and across Europe who are already booking their flights. We'll have breakthrough sessions where you'll identify and clear the limiting beliefs that keep you locked into unwanted timelines. We'll do group meditations where hundreds of people simultaneously shift into higher timeline possibilities. If you're ready to take your reality shifting abilities to the next level and connect with a massive tribe of consciousness explorers, you can find all the details at www.brianscottlive.com/event-November. This isn't just about learning techniques. It's about joining a movement of people who refuse to accept limitation as reality. It's about surrounding yourself with others who understand that consciousness is the ultimate creative force in the universe. Now, you now have access to a reality-shifting technique that mystery schools have kept secret for thousands of years. 17 seconds is all it takes to quantum jump into a parallel timeline where your desired reality already exists. But here's the thing, information without application is just entertainment. This technique I've shared with you today only works if you actually use it. Knowledge without action is powerless. So here's what I want you to do right now before you click away from this video. Think of something small but specific that would improve your day-to-day. Maybe it's receiving good news, finding money, having someone reach out to you, getting an unexpected opportunity, or simply feeling more joy and peace. Choose something that feels possible but would definitely be a positive sign that reality is responding to your consciousness. Close your eyes right now and use the 17-second reality hack. 1. Quantum pause. Step out of time. 2nd, identity solution. Become pure awareness. 3rd, quantum selection. Experience it as already real. 4th, quantum collapse. It is done. And 5th, open your eyes in a new timeline. That's it. Do it right now. Are you done? Good. Here's the crucial part. Stay aware over the next 24 hours for any signs that your reality is shifting. Remember, changes often appear as synchronicities or unusual opportunities or sudden emotional shifts. Don't look for exactly what you asked for. Stay open to how the universe might deliver something even better than you imagined. And here's your homework. Use this technique every morning for the next 17 days. Start building your evidence that consciousness really can shift reality. Keep a journal of what happens. Each day, choose something different to shift. Start with small, believable things and gradually work your way up to bigger changes. Document everything, not just the external results, but how you feel during and after the technique. By the end of 17 days, you'll have created a powerful body of evidence that reality truly is malleable and that you have the power to consciously choose your experience. If this technique transforms your life the way it has for thousands of others, I want to hear about it. Leave a comment below sharing your results. Your success story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to believe this is possible for them too. Every time someone shares their reality shift success, it makes it easier for others to believe in their own power to change their reality. We're building a collective field of possibility that makes reality shifting easier for everyone. Remember, you're not just learning a technique today, you're joining a consciousness revolution. You're part of a growing number of people who understand that reality is not fixed, that consciousness is creative, and that we have far more power to shape our experience than we've been taught. You're not just a passive observer of reality, you're an active participant in its creation. Every moment you're choosing which timeline to experience. The 17-second reality hack just makes that process conscious and deliberate. The reality you desire already exists. Every version of your life that you could possibly want is already real in some parallel dimension. You just need to shift your consciousness to align with it. It's not wishful thinking. This cutting-edge quantum physics combined with ancient wisdom and practical neuroscience. You have scientific permission to expect miracles. If you want to master this work at the deepest level, the link is in the description below, but I also have some amazing news. You can get a free guide to manifest money in the next 24 hours for a limited time only. In this ebook, I share powerful manifestation principles designed to shift your energy and bring unexpected money into your life in the next 24 hours. Thousands of people have already seen results within hours using these techniques. Don't miss out. Download the free guide. The link is in the description and in the comments. Whether you join us in Los Angeles or not, you now have everything you need to begin revolutionizing your reality. You have the knowledge, you have the technique, and you have the scientific understanding of why it works. The only question now is, what reality will you choose? Until next time, keep shifting, keep expanding, keep revolutionizing your reality. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to the Reality Revolution. Hello, it's Brian Scott. And I'm beyond excited to finally announce a live, in-person, 3-day event that I'm hosting in Los Angeles on November 21st through the 23rd. And when you walk away from this event, your life will be changed forever. Whatever it is that you're looking for right now, if you need to heal from something, to find the love of your life, to find wealth, to find your purpose, to ascend, to evolve, whatever that is, whatever your desire, this event is designed to bring that to you. There is a timeline available for you where you can live the very best life that you could ever imagine, where everything is always working out for you. And this event is designed to shift you into that reality and make it something tangible and real that you experience. I promise you that this will change your life.